Hi there birdies, welcome back to the Sunny Virgo, or welcome if you're new here. And this video today is going to be a very special one for those born between the 15th and the 21st of February, because I have a little secret for you. Come here. You're an Aquarius-Pisces Cusp. So what that means, if you're new here to the whole Cusp community, it means that you were born when a sign was setting and the other one was rising. So in that little period, over that week, the energies were a little bit meshed up together. So you may feel like you resonate a lot with Aquarius signs and Aquarius traits, and you may resonate also with a lot of Pisces traits. So we're going to talk about what it means to be an Aquarius-Pisces Cusp. What are your traits? How you can deal with it better, especially the dealing with it, because being a cusp can sometimes be a bit confusing and not the nicest thing, but it can also be very powerful. So we're going to talk about a lot of things. If you want to know more about cusps in general, I do have a whole other video on that. You can check that out on the little cards, wherever that is. And without further ado, let's get into it. So we cannot start talking about your cusp without talking about planets. So you're ruled by Uranus, Aquarius planet, and Neptune, Pisces planet. What this means is that you're a really creative person, first of all, because Uranus is all about innovation, new ideas, looking ahead into the future. Neptune, it's a very dreamy planet, and so you have all of this creativity within you ready to use. You are also very compassionate with all of that Pisces energy and also the Aquarius side of community. However, you can actually get lost a little bit in those thoughts and in all of that dreaminess and forget to focus on the present moment. Because, you know, you're always thinking of the future and always thinking of that, of those plans, and always dreaming of what's next and what your dream life would look like, which is great, but you can also forget to stick around with your day-to-day stuff and just get lost here in your thoughts, in your mind, because Aquarius is also about the mind, it's also about the thoughts, so that can happen quite often. The thing is, the key here for you to go through your day-to-day stuff is to follow your intuition. You don't have to, you have that plan ahead towards the future, and I feel like it is important for you to get there, but try to incorporate that already in your day-to-day life, in your present moment. So what this means is that Pisces is a very intuitive sign. You are likely to have very heightened intuition, maybe even some psychic abilities, like clairvoyance, you know, your clairs. You could definitely, if you focus on that, you could definitely develop them in a very beautiful way, and you can use them to create that dream that you were dreaming of. You can use it to create that into reality. Okay, so your key to go through your day-to-day life is to use your intuition and to try to always connect with that dream life already in the present. Try to make that dream a reality now. Okay, so what is the next step that you can take? How can you be that person that you are in the future, right? What do you eat? How do you breathe? And become it now. Now, another great thing about you is your compassion, because you have the Aquarius side, 11th house of community and friends, and you also have the water energy of love and emotion, right? So that makes you such like a community oriented person and wanting to always be there for others. You're a very big empath, where it's like you're sensitive to other people's energies and thoughts and feelings, and I feel like you're always there to help people and to, you know, support them through every step that they take, and it's like it's a genuine and pure care. You know, it's not that you are faking it, or it's not that you want something in return. You're just really there for the community, and you really want to see people okay and happy, and that is one of the things that make you a very beautiful and powerful person to have in anyone's lives. And that is, before we get into, we're actually going to get into relationships, but that is actually something that people really appreciate in you. So let's get actually into relationships, because people really appreciate you for who you are. They think that you're an amazing, incredible listener and an amazing friend more than anything, because they love how, you know, your altruism and how you're just always caring for others, and maybe even, you know, people that you don't know a thing about. You're just wanting people to be okay, and that's something that people, especially those that you love and those that are closest to you, they really appreciate that in you. And I feel like what's even more amazing is that it's like you have such an amazing ability to put yourself in other people's shoes, and it's like you are able to understand their fears and what they're going through, and not only people like feel like they are understood, you know, and feel like, okay, you relate to me. Like, yes, like I couldn't find anyone that could understand me that better, you know? And people really connect with you on that level. And not only that, like that already is enough. But then you have, because you're able to put yourself in other people's shoes, you give amazing advice. And that's something that people really value on you. And another thing that it's not necessarily like personal relationships. And when we're talking about relationships, by the way, we're talking about friends, lovers, family, anything. I also feel like you have this amazing ability to connect with that, like a broader community. So we were talking before about how creative you were, right? And how you always had this dream and this vision for the future. And the thing is, if you were to pursue a career in the creative aspect, in the creative realm, you would do so good, because you're really able to channel like raw emotion and that passion. It's really there with you. You know those songs where it's like you listen to a song and you just relate to it. It's like, dude, you're talking about my life. You know, you're talking about exactly what I'm going through. That is you. That is you as an artist. If you would choose to follow a career path with art, it doesn't really have to be, but you know, even in any type of career field here, you have this amazing ability to really figure out, okay, what are my clients' needs? How can I best attune this product to make the client happy? And they're going to relate with that product and they're going to buy it. But especially in arts, where there is this strong emotional channel, you are amazing at it and people are really going to resonate with your work. And I feel like all in all, like with all of this channeling and empathy, you're constantly tapping into like other people's emotions and like this full range of emotions. I feel like with all of that, it sort of creates like this shield, you know, it almost creates like this, I'm already prepared for this, especially with tapping into other people's emotions. When you go and tap into your own emotions and it's a similar vibrational emotion. So let's say you often tap into people's rage. When you are angry yourself, it's less likely to affect you, or it's less likely for you to react and for you to express it in such an angry way, because you already created that sort of shield with it, that sort of protection, that sort of preparation for, okay, this is how it feels. I know how this feels, and so you're able to prepare for it a little bit better. But this is actually already a little bit into how to deal with your cusp, how to survive it, and you know, how to better deal with those two energies and balance those two energies, because I feel like you are great at tapping into other people's energies. You're great into being compassionate and supportive and being there for others. But let's be real here. When was the last time that you were like crying at the moon and like screaming and hugging yourself because you were so down? Because I feel like sometimes you can be a little bit hard on yourself when it comes to feeling your own emotions and allowing yourself to feel those emotions, because sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming. And so I feel like it's easier, especially me being an empath as well, I can relate with this, where sometimes it's easier for you to repress them down, you know, just no, emotions don't exist, I already felt them too much from other people. So it's easier to push them away a little bit rather than actually working with them and feeling them and tapping into them and being that compassionate and caring being that you are to others, to yourself. And I feel like you sometimes struggle a little bit with that. And that is even more important when you're connecting with other people's emotions, because first of all, you need to give yourself the love that you're giving to others. That is already put to the side. But more than anything, not all energies and not all emotions that you feel from other people, like being an empath is great and you're really able to support other people and to be there for others, but sometimes it can be a little bit of a curse as well, because you end up like you were totally okay, but your mother just passed by and she was having a really bad day, and all of a sudden you're all gloomy and depressed, right? And that is something that you kind of need to work with, because again, with that Pisces energy, you're so spiritually and energetically, intuitively attuned to everything around you. It is important that you create boundaries. How do you do this? The easiest way for you to do this, it's just about setting intention, okay? You don't even have to meditate, even though I do feel like visualizing could be helpful. And it kind of creates a little different of an effect. So what I like to do personally is I like to meditate. And when I'm meditating, it doesn't even have to be like a big ass 20-minute session, 1 hour session. It can just be a couple of deep breaths and you imagine like a little white bubble surrounding you, protecting you, filled with light, positive energy, and it's just my emotions, me, myself, and I, okay? And whenever you're dealing with those energy vampires, it is important that you are self-aware of those, okay? So it is important for you to constantly tap into your present moment, right? We were talking about how you were always dreaming and you were always there in the future. It is important that you tap into the present moment and you tap into your own emotions, your own energy. So you can even do like an amazing anxiety exercise, which is like the five things, where you count down. So 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you touch, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. I think it's that, but definitely check with Google, because that is the best way to do, because I don't do that often. But just like you do that, you can actually do those things to get back into the present moment whenever you need to. But it's like close your eyes and tap into what are you feeling. You can let's actually do this right now. Like close your eyes and like tap into your heart. Like, does it feel loose? Does it feel tight? You know, do you feel like a little knot in the stomach? Do you feel nervousness, anxiety? Do you feel excitement? Do you feel love? Do you feel joy? What do you feel? And if you tap into those feelings, you're able to be more focused on the present moment and more focused on yourself and your own emotions. Because sometimes you think that you're really angry, and then you figure out and it's like, wait, but why am I angry? There's nothing for me to be angry about. Maybe this is not even mine. And then you have your mother that had a really bad day on the other room, or, you know, right beside you, and she's like freaking out and like just writing really aggressively on paper or something. That's why. Okay, so self-awareness on your emotions is the best, most crucial thing, and that protective white bubble around you for you to protect yourself from energy vampires. Sometimes that is not enough, okay? If you don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable in someone's energy, please do not hesitate in walking away from someone, okay? Literally getting up and walking away, all right? I know that sometimes that is a bit like, but like, that is not very nice, and I totally understand that. And sometimes you don't even need to do that. It's just close your eyes for a second, a couple of deep breaths, connect with those emotions if you need to, or just imagine that white bubble and really breathe into that breathing, okay? Really focus there and stay there, because that will help to create a little bit of a barrier against those people. And the other thing, before we get into the last little itty bitty of this video, we were talking about like the dreaminess and everything, and we already discussed this a little bit before, where it's like you have that vision, right, for the future. You have that vision for that product. It's not just about dreaming, okay? You need to do it as well. So again, you have that vision in the future. How can you make it happen now? What is the next step that you can take? All right. And especially if this is about career, I would advise a career that excites you and that lets this vision and creativity be there and motivates you to want to actually do it and to want to actually create it. Okay. And one thing that I would actually advise you to do, which would kind of boost up that motivation and that inspiration, is visualization constantly, like regularly. You can do this in the morning, like priming. You wake up, and before you head out to the rest of the world, you just focus. There's this thing called positive stacking or positivity stacking, where first of all, you may want to focus on 3 things that you're grateful for. It's energy that's already there, right? Is this feeling of emotion of stuff that has already happened. It's already secure and safe and it's known, right? So think of 3 moments that you're grateful for. 3 happy moments that you were really in love, that you were really like, oh my God, this is the best day of my life. People that were really making you feel good at that moment. Think of that. Let that energy fill you up. And then think of a goal that you want for that day, or if you have like big goals that you want to accomplish, you can imagine those big goals right after that gratitude practice. And that is going to fill you up with all of those positive energies. It's going to leave you with more energy, more vitality, and it's going to give you the motivation to actually bring that dream into reality, okay? But please do not forget about the work, okay? Because you have this great potential. I would even say that 99% of the things that you envision, that you visualize, they are very, very likely to happen. You just need to put in the work, okay? So please do so, because you have an amazing future ahead of you. So the last piece of information that I want to share with you is what I like to call in your neighbor, where we have two different energies, right? And for us to balance it, we have to work with each other. So sometimes your Aquarius energy is super out of control and super like messy. The way for you to handle all of this messiness is to bring in the Pisces and be like, shh, it's okay, we can work on this together, and then they are balanced, right? And the same thing, Pisces is going crazy, the Aquarius comes in, it's like, hey, we've got this, we're gonna make this happen together, right? So it's like you have two people inside of you and you kind of need them to work together. So how can you do this? When Aquarius is crazy, often it is overthinking, because again, Aquarius, all about thoughts, right? And so you can get into this overthinking place where it's like, oh my God, is this going to work? Oh my God, maybe this is not okay. Maybe this, maybe I'm not loved. Maybe I'm making a big mess. Maybe everyone hates me, right? That is also a bit of Pisces, but especially with all of that overthinking and maybe even a bit of anxiety, that can be solved with the Pisces energy of all of that love. Again, love yourself like love others, all right? And so you call in the Pisces and you're like, hey, it's okay, buddy. We're okay. Look at all of the things. I feel like, when that happens, I feel like it is really important that you incorporate a little bit of gratitude, like we talked before. And I mean, if you start doing this, has a priming energy, has something that you do every single morning right after you wake up, it is less likely for the Aquarius to start acting out, because you start getting into used to that feeling of gratitude and into that feeling of I'm gonna be okay, everything is okay, and I have such beautiful positive energy around me, right? So I really feel like getting into gratitude and connecting on the things that are already working out and the things that you already have, all the love around you and all the things that you have already accomplished, right? Connecting with all of that, I feel like it's really going to help you to tone down a little bit the thoughts on the Aquarius, okay? On the other hand, when it comes to the Pisces, like we were talking about before, boundaries, okay? You can sometimes get into this place of like you overlove, right? You overgive. And so, for example, when you're about to do something for someone else, I feel like it is important for you to ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to? Or am I doing this because I feel the need to please that person? It's about, Aquarius thoughts. It's very clear. It's very focused. So I feel like it is important for you to have this clear mind and this objective perspective on things. So are these person's intentions good? Do they align with what I want? Does this task align with what I want? Align with my energy? Is this something that makes me feel good? Right? It's about, I feel like you're always thinking about other people, and so I feel like it's important that you sometimes also pull back and you think about yourself and you are a little bit selfish about it. I also feel like it would be important, by the way, if you would perhaps journal a little bit around, for example, if you find yourself doing the same type of thing to the same person, specifically if it is the same person, ask yourself, like, look into that relationship. Is this a relationship that is healthy? Is this a relationship that ignites me, motivates me, energizes me? Or is it a relationship that drains me and always makes me feel depleted and maybe even depressed and makes me feel like, okay, here we go again. How does it make you feel, okay? More than anything, you're super intuitive and you're super emotional, so please, and it's like this thing of community. I feel like the people you surround yourself with, it's the number one thing for you, okay? But with the calling in your neighbor, sometimes both of them, and that is how you kind of prevent one of them kind of acting out, even though that is normal to happen, especially with like astrology passages, right? And has the planets move, but a way for you to incorporate into your day-to-day life things that you can prevent and that you can create that balance, create that safe hold for yourself is, number one, journaling. First thing when you wake up, especially brain dump, okay? So you can do like the so-called morning pages, where it's usually about 3 pages. You can set a timer for like 10 minutes, for example, where you brain dump. Anything that comes forward, you just write it down, especially your dreams, okay? Because in this way, you're kind of analyzing things and you're having this clear perspective, Aquarius, but you're also analyzing your dreams and you're having that more intuitive side into things, Pisces, right? And if you can incorporate like your brain dumping and there's a thought that comes forward, it's like, oh wait, how does this thought make me feel? Like, I've just realized a limiting belief here. How do I feel about this? What do I want to do with this? right? So I feel like journaling is especially one of the biggest things for you, and that gratitude, okay? I feel like those are things that can really help you balance your energies and make them at an equal level, so you can live a little bit of a happier, healthier, a little bit better life, let's say. But this is what I have for you. I would really love to hear how you resonate with this Aquarius Pisces energy, how you deal with it. Is there something that you've already understood, like, oh wait, if I do this every single morning, I can actually have my energies quite balanced and my day flows really nicely? How do you relate with people? Please let me know. Also, if you are a cusp, I would really appreciate it if you would fill out my cuspy survey, where I have that intention. I've also had the intention to record this video for like a year or something, but I have an intention to eventually write a book about like perfect careers for you, a relationship, even like sexy, spicy stuff. So definitely go fill out that survey. I would really appreciate it, because that gives me more information and it helps me tune in also with the readings. But if you want specialized tarot readings for you, this is the place to be, the Sunny Virgo. We have cusp readings for you. Also, you may want to check out my individual signs tarot readings channel. It's the Sunny Virgo Tarot, because sometimes we resonate a little bit more with one side, sometimes we resonate a little bit more with the other side. But yeah, is there anything else that I need to say? I don't think so. So I really hope this helped. I really hope this brought you a little bit of information about yourself and can help you kind of figure yourself out a little bit, because sometimes it can get a bit tough. But yeah, definitely let me know. Don't forget to smash the like button for me if this helped. I would really appreciate it. That is the easiest way for you to support me. If you ever want a private reading, the link is going to be down below for that, and you can also check out my Patreon. But with that being said, I wish you the freaking best. I love it very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.